Hi everybody, this is Ospreyeye from MyChartCoach.com, and we're going to take a look at some more ticker symbols that were in play today. Okay, first up, KTOV. Very nice day today, closed up 43%. RSI is above 70, currently at overbought levels. FASTO's at 76. Above 80 is the overbought power zone for FASTO. You've got the bullish crossover and parabolic move on plus DI on ADX. Super strong follow through today. There was a bullish move yesterday on very light volume, so you could see down here on the volume bars, super light bounce yesterday, and then today the volume poured in. The share price ended up gapping up above the 50-day simple moving average, which is the green line at 177, ran past the 100-day simple moving average at 187, and then ended up filling this gap back here. If you look back here in, what is this, February, a gap was created between low of day on this candle and high of day on this candle. The gap finally filled today. The share price did break above the 200-day simple moving average at 259 intraday, but it did pull back. That is going to be the key level to break tomorrow. That, and along with the top of the gap level. So that's the bottom of this candle. The top of the gap is always a big resistance level to break. And always keep in mind when filling a gap, that is a climax, and many times you see a pullback after that happens. So in order for the share price to head higher, it needs to turn these two red lines into support. If that happens, then you could see a run up to the 300-day simple moving average at 303. On a pullback, what you'd like to see is the bottom of the gap hold. That's at 220. If that breaks, then the candles will likely work back into the bands. The upper Bollinger Bands at 205, and then you've got EMA 4 way down here at 191, which is lined up with the 100-day simple moving average at 187. That would be the reload target on a pullback if the bottom of the gap failed to hold and the top of the gap failed to break. Giant volume spike today. Bullish crossovers on MACD on both time frames. And there was also a parabolic SAR bullish flip. The green dots are now below the candles. Very strong move, today. Very strong two-day move. We'll just have to see if it can follow through. Okay, let's look at VSTM, another stock that made a strong move today. RSI and FASTO are up here. Both are in the 70s. You've got RSI pushing to 79. Same thing with plus DI as the last stock. Parabolic move on ADX here. VSTM is breaking out on the daily chart. As you can see here, it hit new 52-week highs today, and then it did pull back a little bit and closed at 345, but it closed well above the upper Bollinger Band, and then the first support level is down here at EMA 4 at 275. Sometimes when you get a close well above the upper Bollinger Band, the candles pull back into the band, so you'd like to see that level hold. As long as candles are riding EMA 4 support higher, the chart is very strong, and as long as the middle Bollinger Band is holding, the uptrend is intact. Notice this is the break above the 50 simple moving average that has been holding, and there's giant volume today. So big volume behind the move. Recent bull crosses on MACD on both time frames. So the chart is really breaking out, and when that happens, we like to look at the weekly chart. So here on the VSTM weekly chart, it is showing the next key resistance level to break. You can see here that there was a gap that was created back here in September between the low of week on this candle and the high of week on this candle. And so what happened today was that there was a break above the bottom of the gap. And so bulls want to see a close above that level for the week. So it needs to close above that level tomorrow, and that will signal the gap filling, a potential gap fill. So notice there's not a lot of resistance. This lower wick came down here, around 450. But the next target, if the bottom of the gap level holds, is going to be up here at the 550, 580 range. Notice the 200 simple moving average is lined up with the top of the gap. So that's going to be the target if VSTM can keep the uptrend going and turn the bottom of the gap into support. Big volume behind the move. This is the largest weekly volume in the last 2 years. Notice all the way back here from 2015, September 2015 was the last time VSTM had this type of volume. Notice the bullish crossover down here on MACD 8, 13, and 5. If the share price closes strong for the week, then there should be an uptick on accumulation distribution. Okay, so let's look at OGXI. Okay, this is another stock that had a bullish move today. RSI is now at 83 and overbought levels. FASTO's at 75. You've got the bullish crossover on ADX with plus DI crossing ADX to the upside. This is another stock that broke key resistance levels today. Notice this red descending resistance line. This was the top of this channel, and it broke above that level, and then it also broke above the 100-day simple moving average and the 200-day simple moving average. So the 200-day simple moving average at 457 is the key level to hold on a pullback. Okay, so you'd like to see that turn into support, and then on the upside, the 300-day simple moving average at 0.594 is the next key level to break. It needs to close above that level and turn it into support to make that run up to Dollarland. This is a good start here. There's giant volume behind the move. On a pullback, you can see the EMA 4 and the 100-day simple moving average are lined up at 42, so that should provide big support. As long as candles are riding EMA 4 support higher, the chart is very strong. Just keep in mind, like I said earlier, many times when you get a big close above the upper Bollinger Band, the candles work back in the bands and then it pushes higher to the next level. So yeah, this is a good uptrend. We'll just like to see if it can continue and follow through. Notice once again, big volume behind the move. You know, lots of movement in the healthcare sector, the pharmaceuticals, the biotechs. They've really been moving. There's been a lot of action this last couple of weeks in the small caps and in the sector, and so they've just been kind of going down the line and running each one. And when that happens, you just want to stay engaged. You know, you always want to go for the strongest sector first, and then find the hottest plays within the sector. And for penny stocks, this has been the place to be recently. Okay, so if you look here, IMUC is another stock that made a good move today. RSI is at 80. There's still room to run on FASTO until the 80 overbought level, currently at 66. In indecision candle form today, many times when during an uptrend, when you get a gap up open above the upper Bollinger Band, and then you get an indecision candle like this, this is called a high wave, or this could just be called a spinning top. It basically the long upper wicks, okay, long upper wick and long lower wick, and small real candle body, be it a very small body like this or a doji. What this is signaling is indecision. There's a real battle between the bulls and the bears, and many times when this pattern forms, the candles work back into the bands. We'll see if that is the case here. You'd like to see the 100-day simple moving average at $2 hold. If the candles do pull back, EMA 4 at 157 is going to be the key level to hold. If that breaks, you've got the 50-day simple moving average down here at 131. So this is another breakout play with a strong uptrend. You know, this could just be a pause candle, but the share price did hit the 200-day simple moving average and pulled back below. You know, it's going to have to close above that level to break out higher. If it fails to break the 200-day simple moving average, fails to hold 100, you know, it's very likely it's going to pull back and test this EMA 4 support and work its way back into the Bollinger Bands. But this is a good uptrend once again on a volume spike. You know, you got to keep in mind this is you know, there's 3 white candles in a row followed by an indecision candle with a spinning top above the upper Bollinger Band. You know, that usually signals, you know, especially when it failed to break 200-day simple moving average intraday, you know, to lock in gains on this day and look for a reload lower. That would have been our call in the chat. If you look at SITO, you'll see here it is breaking out. It's you know, got a really nice uptrend going. Notice it breaks out, pulls back, breaks out, pulls back, and then now it's breaking out again. Once again, this is the close well above the upper Bollinger Band, so the candles might work their way back in the bands. You'd like to see EMA 4 at 46 hold. The key level is going to be this closing price here. Back here in May, the high close, what we call high close horizontal resistance. That's always the big level to break besides the moving averages. And for this chart, it's right here in May. And so if it can break above that, you know, turn that level into support. It broke out above that level today. That should signal that it wants to head higher and take it to the next level. Notice there's a big volume spike today. So on a pullback, you want to see that level hold. Notice it is lined up with EMA4. Okay, since SITO is breaking out on the daily chart, what we like to do, as I said earlier, is look at the weekly chart. So here's the SITO weekly chart, and you can see it is hitting the key resistance level. If you look back here in 2016, there was big resistance back here around between 520 and 540, and so what we always look for is the high close level, and that's on this candle right here. The first week of October in 2016, that will be the key level to close above. Okay, it's just below 540. If it can close above that level, then you can see a run up here to test $6. And so yeah, the jar has been filled back to this 540 resistance level. So this is what we call filling the jar. The share price dropped, came down, it hit this level, then it pulled all the way back. Notice that you've got this double bottom down here, and then now the share price has worked its way all the way back to the previous highs. So this becomes a huge resistance level. Many times you could see a sideways action, similar to what happened here. The key is going to be a close above this high close, the horizontal resistance level. That's going to be the signal that it wants to break out higher. It has a very nice uptrend going. Once again, it's pushing above the upper Bollinger Band. If it does pause and pull back, look at EMA4 at 419, and then the big level is this 300-week simple moving average, currently at 392. As long as candles are staying above that, this has a lot more upside potential. Okay, but fail to break this 540 zone, and that could signal consolidation. Okay, now let's take a look at CHFS. Okay, the previous charts were all stocks that were running and hot and in play today. They were off of our top 10 list. We like to post the top 11 percentage gainers of the day, and those were stocks from that list. And here's a stock that has actually been pulling back, and this is a bounce play. Okay, so this is CHFS. It's hitting 50 on RSI. Okay, it needs to stay above 50 to remain bullish. Now you've got FASTO down here below 20 at 18, so now FASTO's at oversold levels. And the reason why CHFS is oversold is because it's been down for 4 days in a row. Notice 4 red candles in a row. It had this gap up open. Okay, it had some news with the gap up open. There was a big volume spike. And then the annotations here on this chart are old. This is from what is this? 29th, back here on the 29th of June, when this white candle formed and the big green volume spike. And then what we were looking for was a gap up open. That's what it looked like with the after hours action, and that happened because this is the opening price here last Friday, and the share price ran all the way up, and it tested the resistance zone that we were talking about in the last video, and then it pulled back, and then what happened was the gap filled. Notice there was the unfilled gap back here in April. And so that gap filled on Friday, and many times what happens on a gap fill, it's a climax, and you get a pullback. This actually pulled back intraday and closed below the bottom of the gap. It actually, well, I guess it closed right at the bottom of the gap level. So you see this is the bottom of the gap, this green line here. So it closed right at that level, and then on Monday, it ended up closing below. It couldn't hold the bottom of the gap level, and that signaled it was consolidating. And once it broke EMA4 yesterday, we were looking for potential bounce off of the middle Bollinger Band and the 50-day simple moving average, currently at 68. Okay, so that is a potential reload zone. Just below that, there's a gap. There's a gap between last Wednesday and last Thursday, and so a drop down to 63, that's where the green line is here, that would fill the gap. And so this could possibly be a gap fill play. It could fill the gap below, and then that could be a catalyst for a bounce. But what we'd really like to see on this chart after 4 red candles on this pullback is a bounce off the middle Bollinger Band and the 50-day simple moving average. So 63 to 68 is the reload zone. We're looking for a technical bounce, a potential bullish reversal pattern forming tomorrow or on Monday. So keep an eye on it. 4 red candles candles in a row. Also notice that there is a declining volume pattern, and so what we'll be looking for is a bullish volume spike and a bounce off of support. Okay, thank you very much for viewing this video. If you'd like to learn more about charts and technical analysis, please check us out at mychartcoach.com and our YouTube channel at mychartcoach.com. Thank you.